Welcome to the Ontario Mortgage and Real Estate Insights podcast, your go-to source for the latest developments, trends, and regulatory changes in the industry. I'm your host, Steve Hamoen, here to provide you with insights sourced from reputable news outlets to help you stay informed and make well-informed decisions.
This podcast is brought to you by Real Approved Inc., a trusted mortgage brokerage dedicated to helping Canadians achieve their home ownership dreams. Visit realapproved.ca to learn more about how our experienced team can assist you with your mortgage needs. Let's dive into today's episode. All right, Steve, let's kick off today's discussion with some news from Calgary. Despite record levels of housing starts over the past 3 years, a new report from the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, or CMHC, suggests Calgary is still struggling to return to pre-pandemic affordability levels.
That's right, Janine. The report highlights that Calgary needs to build 45% more homes each year to restore affordability to what it was before COVID-19. That's a significant increase, and it translates to about 9,000 more housing starts annually for the next decade.
Wow, that's a tall order. It seems like the city is trying its best to keep up with demand, especially with 24,369 housing starts recorded in 2024 alone. But clearly, it's not enough. What do you think is holding them back, Steve?
Well, Janine, I think it boils down to a few key factors. According to CMHC's chief economist, Matt LaBerge, it's not just about building more homes, it's also about changing the way we build. There's a need for a more trained workforce and the adoption of technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, and automation to meet these ambitious targets.
That makes sense. It's not just about quantity, but also efficiency and innovation in building practices. And it's interesting to hear that affordability, as defined by CMHC, means housing costs shouldn't exceed 30% of a household's gross income. With rising costs everywhere, that's a challenging benchmark to meet.
Absolutely, Janine. And while Calgary is facing these challenges, the report also mentions Edmonton as a bit of a success story. They've broken their own record in housing starts, and CMHC is optimistic about their ability to maintain affordability over the next decade.
It's great to hear some positive news out of Edmonton, but it sounds like both cities still face their own hurdles. For Calgary, it's about increasing the supply significantly, while Edmonton needs to sustain its current pace. And it seems like labor shortages in the construction sector are a concern for both.
Yes, labor shortages are a big issue. The Calgary Construction Association's president, Bill Black, mentioned the intense demand for infrastructure and the need to encourage more young people to consider careers in the trades. It's crucial to address these workforce challenges if Calgary and other cities want to meet their housing goals.
It really is a collective effort. From providing enough land to ensuring the right infrastructure is in place, everyone from government to developers to the community needs to be on board. As Scott Fash from BILD Alberta pointed out, it's about figuring out how to do things differently, maybe even better than before. Let's talk about a topic that's capturing the interest of many Canadians who dream of owning a lakeside cottage but find it financially out of reach. The concept of co-ownership or fractional ownership is becoming a popular way to make this dream a reality.
It's an interesting approach, Janine. Take Corinne Evanoff, for example. She and her husband wanted a cottage but were wary of the maintenance burden. Instead, they opted for co-ownership, allowing them to own a share of a property without the full financial and maintenance responsibility.
Exactly, Steve. For the Evanoffs, it meant acquiring a piece of $1 million cottage for less than $100,000. This kind of arrangement can make cottage ownership accessible for those who might otherwise be priced out of the market.
But it's important to understand what you're getting into. Realtor Mike Lang points out that fractional ownership is not like a timeshare. With fractional ownership, you have more control and a guaranteed share of the property. However, it's crucial to have a clear agreement in place, as recommended by litigation lawyer Tanya Walker.
Right. And as Don Smith, a co-owner himself, mentioned, it's more of a lifestyle investment rather than a financial one. It's about creating memories for families across generations, even if it means some limitations like not being able to personalize the space entirely.
Absolutely. And John Puffer, a real estate developer, notes that many buyers are older adults looking to invest in a place for their children and grandchildren. The Canadian cottage experience is very much about family gatherings and multi-generational enjoyment.
However, prospective buyers should be meticulous. Understanding the contract, knowing who the other co-owners are, and clarifying management and financial obligations are vital steps. As Puffer suggests, potential buyers should do their due diligence, just like any other significant investment.
And for those like the Evanoffs, fractional ownership can be a hidden gem, offering a slice of the cottage lifestyle at a fraction of the cost. It seems like a trend that's poised to grow as more people become aware of its benefits. Now let's shift our focus to retail sales. April marked a second consecutive month of gains, with Canadian retail sales edging up by 0.3%, as reported by Statistics Canada. However, it's crucial to note that this increase, while promising, is tempered by early data for May, suggesting a potential slowdown.
That's right, Steve. Despite the overall increase, the gains were spread across just 6 of 9 sectors. The strongest performances came from motor vehicle and parts dealers, sporting goods, hobby, musical instrument and miscellaneous retailers, and home furnishings, electronics, and appliances retailers. However, sectors like gasoline stations and clothing retailers saw notable decreases.
Exactly, Janine. Core retail sales, which exclude gas stations and motor vehicle and parts dealers, edged up only by 0.1% in April. Yet, in volume terms, retail sales jumped 0.9%, indicating stronger underlying demand. Regionally, Saskatchewan and British Columbia posted the strongest gains, while New Brunswick experienced a steep decline.
It's interesting to see the regional differences, Steve. Online shopping also saw a healthy increase, rising 3.2% to $4.4 billion, representing 6.2% of Canada's total retail trade. But as with many things, there are concerns looming on the horizon.
Indeed, Janine. While April's data points to a rebound, trade tensions and weakening demand are casting a shadow over the second quarter outlook. StatCan's flash estimate for May suggests a sharp 1.1% decline, largely driven by a retreat in auto sales and more cautious consumer sentiment.
And according to BMO's Shelley Kaushik, the report highlights slowing consumer spending through the spring. The weak flash estimate for May aligns with the view that the economy struggled in the second quarter. It's a sentiment echoed by TD Economics' Maria Solovieva, who noted a meaningful softening in spending through May, based on internal credit and debit card data.
Right, Janine. Solovieva also mentioned that TD now expects real personal consumption to be flat in the second quarter, with a potential contraction in the third quarter if U.S. tariffs continue to weigh on sentiment and job prospects. National Bank economist Darren King pointed out additional factors such as the impact of wildfires and the possibility of a summer tax cut proposed by the Liberals as potential influences.
It seems like a complex picture, Steve. While there are measures like the proposed tax cut that might soften the economic blow, underlying concerns about consumer spending remain. As King suggests, a slowdown in consumption is the base scenario for the coming months.
Indeed, Janine, it's a nuanced situation that requires careful monitoring. And that brings us to the end of today's discussion. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Ontario Mortgage and Real Estate Insights podcast. We hope you found today's insights valuable as you navigate the world of mortgages and real estate.
Before you go, a quick reminder. Real Approved is here to make your mortgage journey smoother. Whether you're buying your first home or refinancing, their experienced team is ready to guide you with personalized support every step of the way. Visit realapproved.ca to get started and take the next step toward achieving your homeownership goals. Catch you next time and stay informed with the latest industry insights.